Hey folks, John Smale back here, back at you, talking about Smales Pace. And well, today's story is about friendship. Uh, Very specifically, a friend in my life from the early days at Smales Pace. His name was Bill Anderson, variously known as uh, Billie, Uncle Billy, Birdie, and just old Billy and old Bill. Now, Bill wandered into Smales Pace one day. Looking around a bit shy, a bit confused. And I said, "Hey there." Uh, and he said, "Oh, I'm just here picking up my wife. She works next door at the chiropractor's office. Her name is Betty." I said, "Oh, well, come on in, Bill. Time for a coffee." So Bill thought, "Oh, well, this is an interesting place." As he looked around, and different kind of a place. And well, next thing you know, he's back the next day, and he's having another coffee. And next thing, he's back the next day. Now, Bill had a job. He worked at CJOM, which was a progressive rock FM station in Windsor, Ontario, run by the Chum chain, and that was back when the golden days of FM, when DJs could sort of ramble on and talk about musicians' life, and very spatial. Uh, and songs could be 7, 8 minutes long, and that's just not part of the radio programming idiom these days. Um, so, but this is not about that. Bill was a salesman selling ads for that radio station, and after a while, he kind of wanted not to commute to Windsor all the time, and he wanted to stay close to his family and home in London. Now, Bill invited me home to meet the family, and I had just a great time meeting them. His wonderful wife, Betty, everybody had a nickname. Betty was Mimi, Patty was Piglet, uh, and Steve was just Ba. Now, don't ask, just fun, unique, and personalized names that they had, and that's what they were known by over the years. Now, Billy, not only hung out at Smalespace, he worked most nights with the entertainment. Billy was sort of a greeter, and he was ticket sales, and just general runaround guy to help me out because I was busy, sort of being the manager, owner, whatever. And we had so many laughs together. Bill and I keep repeating this in other episodes that how much fun we liked to have in those days, and it wasn't a serious thing. And Bill and I would have breakfast many days together. We'd walk over to the Paragon restaurant before Smales Pace opened, of course, and hung out and just drank coffee and chatted about life and friendship and adventures and all that stuff in our lives. Now, Billy, went to work for a guy by the name of Dan Finn, who was opening a series of poster shops in shopping centers, and they were, back in the days when posters were very, very hip. And Bill enjoyed that, but again, that was being mostly on the road and away from London. And he came back from that job and opened a performance room in the lower level of Fryfogel's. And Fryfogel's was a bar on the main street in London, and he called it Uncle Billy's, and had a lot of performers there, very similar performers that he had met at Smales Pace, and he carried on that tradition. Now, Change of Pace was going on at the same time, which is when I sold Smales Pace, it became Change of Pace and moved to another location on Talbot Street. More on that, of course. But so Billy wanted to stay as a host, hosting musicians, and he was very close with the Good Brothers. He was very close with, well, they wrote a song, Uncle Billy's Breakdown, and all that stuff. But Billy was close with a lot of musicians, and they liked him as much as I liked him. Billy went on to produce or host musicians at pub nights at Chaucer's, another downtown London pub. And I guess it was just got in his blood that he wanted to carry on the tradition of live music wherever he could. Now there's some photos here that I want to just talk about. Look at that very handsome picture of Bill Anderson there at the top, and that's a good look at Bill there. There's a younger picture of Bill as I think he was a Bell Canada installer, so kind of in his younger days there. Bill was about 10 years older than me. He was like my older brother, a bit of a protector, etc. And wanted to sort of fill a gap in my life because my brothers had moved west to British Columbia. There's another picture there, a lovely picture of Bill and his daughter Patty Piglet, at the Home County Folk Festival. Patty was the love of his life. All his kids were, I know, but I mean, he had a very special place in his heart for Patty. Patty was delightful, funny, and exuberant, and loved music and loved life. And Patty, unfortunately, developed cancer, and it was very sad to lose Patty. Yeah, just terrible. And Patty's death had a major influence on Bill's life. He just wasn't quite the same after that. I was living in Toronto at that time, and I'd sort of following my own muses and raising a family and trying to develop my career in architecture and commercial design. And so I got back to London only infrequently, and whenever I did, I could sort of see the changes in Bill. And I just wanted to remember the days when we had fun, and I didn't want to really admit that that Bill had a stroke and a grand mal, and I really felt like I'd lost a family member when Bill died. And I'd like to celebrate Bill's life. I don't want to dwell on the part where he loses a daughter and dies himself, etc. I just don't want to remember Bill like that. Bill was a good friend. We're very lucky in life to have good friends. They say if you've got 10 good friends and 100 good acquaintances, you're a blessed, fortunate man. So I must be overly blessed, overly fortunate, and eternally grateful. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. There's going to be a really good one tomorrow that I'm planning. I hope you get to tune in and enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed meeting my friend Bill Anderson today. Bye-bye.